Welcome to today's Farm Life. I'm Doug Cunningham on the grounds of Dakota Fest 2021, talking with American Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall, still one of my favorite names in all of politics.
Well, thank you. That was given to me at birth, so it's not my given name, but it was a nickname they gave me at birth.
I think it's fantastic. We talked a few years ago, and I still think it's one of my favorite names. Let's talk about some of the issues that we first of all, the resurgence, or what seems to be a resurgence of the waters of the U.S. They call it something different, but it seems like it's coming back around again.
It is, and we're very disappointed in that because we felt like the rule that was worked on that we are working under now it gives us really clear rules so that we provide that clean water. But we've already made contact with EPA, and we've sat down and met with Administrator Administrator Regan, who is very understands very much how this may affect agriculture. He comes from North Carolina, got a great relationship with farmers and ranchers there. He's promised us a seat, and he doesn't want to go back to the large land grab of the 2015 rule, but he says there's some things in the new rule that he wants to fix, and some things that was in the previous 2015 rule that he would like to incorporate. So we're going to work with him to try to mitigate any damage it might do to us.
I would imagine anybody brings even up that topic, that brings you to it. That brings up a red flag. That brings up an alert real quick.
It does, because the 2015 rule was the largest federal land grab in the history of our country. And we surely don't want to go back to that because it puts so many regulations in place. It shuts us down from doing our business and working our land like we knows best for it.
Now, as far as taxes go, every time there's a change in the administration, there always seems to be, quote unquote, something new, something better. I mean, what's the deal with all that?
Well, COVID has hit this country hard, and the federal government, the Congress, and the presidents have done everything they can do to try to keep America's economy afloat, try to help families, try to help small business, and try to help agriculture and farmers and ranchers across the country. And now we're talking about a new infrastructure package that has a big price tag to it, and somebody's got to pay for all this stuff. So they're looking for ways to pay for the things that they've already done and going to do in the future. And one of the proposals that came out of the White House was to do away with stepped-up basis and make capital gains payable at death. And I don't know what your listeners know about all that, but it is probably the most devastating thing that we're discussing today as far as ag issues. It could prevent us from having the ability to pass our farms on to the next generation. It could destroy the family farm as we know it today and push it into big corporations, push it into ownership of other countries. I mean, it is just a bad thought, and we need to do everything in our power to try to keep it from happening. We've been successful in keeping it out of the infrastructure bill that came out of the Senate, but this fight is not over. We'll have to continue to work to make sure it's not put into some future legislation.
Now, some would think that maybe that's the agenda. Maybe that's the way they want things to go. I mean, we don't, but maybe that, some would think that. I mean, conspiracy theory.
Well, that there's a lot of conspiracies out there, theories out there, and but we have to work with what we have to work with, and we're watching it every day, and we know that a lot of these things that's being proposed, they're listening to us and they're incorporating some of our thoughts, but we all know that the devils are in the details. So once we win a battle, even in some of the principles that they might discover that we have in common, we're going to watch how they implement it to make sure that those devils in the details don't come out to hurt us.
Anything that anybody can do, get a hold of their members, get a hold of their congressman?
I can't express how important it is for farmers and ranchers to be part of an organization like Farm Bureau or Commodity Group to make sure that they're having input into those groups. But not only that, help us help you. We go to Capitol Hill and we lay the groundwork. We'll plow the field and plant the seeds, but we need our grassroots and our farmers and ranchers to water that seed. And that's pick up the phone, call that congressman and senator. Y'all have great senators and a great congressman here, very pro-ag, but it helps them, reinforces them each and every day when someone calls and says, we need for you to protect our family farms by making sure that they don't do something wrong with taxes, making sure they don't do something wrong with the waters of the U.S., and encourage them and tell them it's got to happen. And not only that, they're on recess this month. And a lot of them are out in their communities, like they're going to be here today at Dakota Fest. You need to make sure they hear your story. You need to come out to those town hall meetings or come out here to Dakota Fest and speak to them one-on-one. Let them hear your story and how it affects your farm. It is so powerful. I can't tell you how important that is.
Well, Zippy Duvall, American Farm Bureau President. Zippy, good to see you again, and thanks for taking time.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to be here.
Thank you. That is Zippy Duvall, American Farm Bureau President, here on the grounds of Dakota Fest. For today's Farm Life, I'm Doug Cunningham.